Hello, my name is Jennifer Rincon Casillas, and today I'm going to talk about the Scottish poet, novelist, essayist, and travel writer Robert Louis Stevenson. Robert Louis Stevenson was born on November 13, 1850, in Edinburgh, Scotland. He is best known for his evergreen works as Treasureland, Kidnapped, and Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. He spent a difficult childhood suffering chronic health problems, due to which he was mostly confined to bed. Once he grew up, he was sent to study science at Edinburgh University to become a civil engineer. Stevenson, on the other hand, was not much interested in studying science. Instead, he spent ample time studying French literature, Scottish history, and the works of Darwin and Spencer. Stevenson's writings and life were both heavily influenced by his city, Edinburgh. He experienced two phases of the city. One was the religious, respectable, and conventional town, while the other phase of Edinburgh was that of more bohemian town with broadless, shady characters and underhanded dailies. Through these observations, Stevenson learned a great deal about the duality of human nature, which later became the base of his novel, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Slowly, Stevenson's name started appearing in significant publications such as the Fortnightly Review. In 1878, he published an inland voyage, followed by Treasure Island in 1883. The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and Kidnapped were both published in 1886. In 1889, Stevenson moved to Vailima, Samoa, where he lived for the rest of his life. Many of his most significant works have been written in Vailima. Some of these include The Beach of Falesa, The Ed Tide, The Wrecker and Catriona, The Bottle Imp, The Island of Voices, and The Wife Women. Robert Louis Stevenson died at the age of 44, a few hours after suffering a brain hemorrhage on December 3, 1894. Now, some curious facts about Robert Louis Stevenson. He gave the idea of the sleeping bag. Stevenson has as good a claim as any to inventing the snug camping necessities. In Trouble with a Donkey in the 70s, one of his earliest works, Stevenson talks of crafting a sleeping sack, which was 6 feet square in size, made of green waterproof cloth without a blue sheep's fur within. He nearly died before writing his most famous works. Despite slightly battling with tuberculosis for most of his adult life, a bout of malaria nearly killed Stevenson in California shortly before his marriage to Fanny Buttergrift Osborne in 1880. This boat of who helped present some of his most iconic works, including Treasure Island and A Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. There is a museum in his honor in Samoa. In his later life, Stevenson and his family moved permanently to the South Pacific island of Samoa. His connection with the island's people was so great that he was given the name of Tusitala, that means teller of tales, by the locals. When Stevenson died in 1894, he was buried at the top of Mount Baea. A museum of his possessions and works was opened in the town for Apia.